Hello everyone, welcome to costing class. In this video, I will be discussing joint product and byproduct. So we need to understand what is joint product, what is byproduct, how do we account these things from costing perspective, how do we take decisions about further processing a joint product. This is more like extension of process costing chapter. Why I say so? Process costing is where one input gives you one output, where one input gives you one output, or one process gives you one FG as the result. Joint product is one input but multiple outputs, or one process with multiple saleable items. That means in process costing, what we have studied already is input with one output, one process, one output. But in joint product, what we are going to learn, in a common process, there are multiple outputs. There are multiple outputs. That is why the name is joint product. Joint product. How is byproduct different from joint product? From costing perspective, what is the important things that we need to learn, and other things you will get to know in today's class. I will open the textbook. Yes, right here we are. Joint product and byproduct. So what is joint product? Joint products are products of comparatively equal importance. That line is important. Comparatively equal importance. Need not be equal importance. Comparatively equal importance, which are produced simultaneously from the same basic raw material, which may require further processing after the point of separation. They say simultaneously from same basic raw material, but you have to understand this as simultaneously from same process. Instead of using the word same basic raw material, you can say simultaneously from a common process. It is like petroleum extraction activity, right? You don't actually spend material, but you do one common activity where you extract raw petrol, raw diesel, crude oil, we say. It has some chemical names for our understanding. Let me use it as raw petrol, raw diesel, raw kerosene. Process is same, but outputs are more than one nature. They are produced from same basic raw material. You can even write as same process. Make a note in your textbook, same process. They are comparatively of equal importance. They may need further processing after the point of separation. What is point of separation? You will get to know. I have prepared a small diagram for you to understand this joint product process properly. Yes. You first write the heading, joint and byproduct. Write the heading, joint and byproduct. Yes. After that, you need to focus on this diagram. I will give you time to copy this little later. Listen to me first. Listen to me. I'll be marking in green. I'll be marking here in green. Okay. Just listen. I'll give you time to draw later. Suppose we are doing extraction activity. Okay. This is the ground level, earth level. We are standing here. We are standing here. Okay. And we are doing extraction activity. Extraction activity. Now, when I'm doing extraction activity, is it a separate activity for raw petrol, raw diesel, raw kerosene? No, it's a joint activity. Correct? Yes. So I can call extraction activity as joint activity. Whatever cost I spend for this joint activity should be called as joint cost. Simple. Whatever cost I incur for this extraction activity, you will call it as joint cost. You may need some labor, you need some equipment, you will have electricity, you will have some motor power consumed, and so on and so forth. If that is 5 lakh rupee, then 5 lakh should be called as joint cost. It is material, labor, overhead, add all this, total is your joint cost, right? At this level, we will segregate them. We're going to segregate them, correct? It is crude, we have to segregate. You will have raw petrol, raw diesel, raw kerosene, correct? You are standing here, this is the earth level, ground level. Once you extract them, first thing that you do is you separate them. The point where you separate them is called split off point. The point where you separate them is called split off point. Another name is point of separation. Name itself tells you point of separation. You are separating them, right? Now you tell me, once you separate them, you have raw petrol one side, raw diesel one side, raw kerosene one side, right? Ultimately, you're going to sell it as petrol, diesel, and kerosene, correct? Now, from raw petrol to petrol, you will have to do refining activity. Extraction is done. You now have to do refining activity. Raw diesel to become diesel, you have to do refining activity. Raw kerosene to kerosene, there is a refining activity. You tell me, can you refine all three of them together? No, you cannot put raw petrol, raw diesel, raw kerosene in one machine and then say, let's refine now. Not possible. You have to refine them separately, correct? Therefore, here it is. Refinery activity is called separate activity. Refinery activity is called separate activity. Hence, whatever you spend there is called separate cost. Again, there also material, labor, overhead. Yes. Here I have used one more term, further processing. Further processing. Sir, why are you saying further processing? Please understand. We have already completed one common activity up to split off point. Whatever I do from that point can be called as further processing activity. I repeat, when I completed extraction, this is ground level. When I completed extraction, I have done one part of the work. I have done one part of work. What am I going to do after this? Further, I'm going to process it. In petroleum industry, it is called refinery. It need not be refinery in every industry. I took the example of petroleum industry. Now, you tell me, once you do the further processing, ultimately you're going to sell petrol, diesel, kerosene. But is there anyone who is stopping you from selling raw petrol, raw diesel, raw kerosene? No. You please follow whatever I'm highlighting. Nobody can stop you from selling raw petrol, raw diesel, raw kerosene, which means there is some market value for your products at split off point. There is some market value for your products at split off point. Also, once you do refining, finally you're going to sell petrol, diesel, and kerosene. That means there is some market value after further processing. These many things are to be understood. Then only we can solve problems. Right? I quickly repeat. After that, you can copy this. First, this is the ground level. We did the extraction. Extraction was done together. Extraction was done together for petrol, diesel, and kerosene. Raw petrol, raw diesel, raw kerosene together. Therefore, I called it as joint activity. Whatever is the cost incurred for joint activity is called as joint cost. Is called as joint cost. That is material cost, labor cost, overhead cost. Right. And then at some point you're going to separate all of them. You're going to separate all of them. That point is called as split off point or point of separation, right? What are we going to do after that? Once you segregate, it is in raw form, raw petrol, raw diesel, raw kerosene. Either you can sell it there itself, correct? Some other company will do refining, or if you have your own factory to do refining, you can do refining, but that will be separate activity, right? For that there will be again separate cost. Correct. Ultimately, once the petrol is ready, you will sell petrol, that is market value here, and then you can sell diesel and you can sell kerosene. Got it? Yes. I want you to draw this now. Okay. I will explain accordingly. You draw. First, draw a straight line for earth land level, all of you. Then draw this part I'm highlighting now. Extraction activity. Draw extraction activity right there as extraction activity. Extraction activity in bracket joint activity. Joint activity. There one small arrow mark, you write joint cost. Joint cost in bracket material, labor, overhead. Right, next. Draw this point of separation. Here it is, point of separation. Yes, point of separation, or what is the other name? Split off point. Split off point. Okay, there write as RP, raw petrol. If you want to write full raw petrol, here it is. Here it is. Raw petrol, then raw diesel, and then raw kerosene. Raw petrol, raw diesel, raw kerosene. Okay. This can be sold. There is a market value right here. There is a market value. Draw the arrow mark. Yes. If you decide not to sell, then you can do further processing. Then you can do further processing. Here, further processing or refinery activity. Refinery activity. This will be a separate activity. This will be a separate activity. Hence it is called what? Separate cost. Separate activity, hence separate cost. Again in bracket, material, labor, overheads. Okay. Finally at the end, once this further processing is done, you will have what? Petrol. Continue this arrow mark. Raw petrol will become petrol. Raw diesel will be diesel. Raw kerosene will be kerosene. Okay. Even that petrol has market value, diesel has market value, kerosene has market value. That means you have market value at two places. One, if you sell it without further processing. One, if you sell it after further processing. Right. Now you tell me, if they say joint cost is 10 lakh, is it only for raw petrol or raw diesel or raw kerosene? No, it is for all three together. But if they say separate cost related to diesel, will you consider that for petrol and kerosene also? No, no, which means petrol, diesel, kerosene, the further processing costs are directly allocated to petrol, diesel, kerosene. No confusion. But joint cost is not allocated. It's a common cost. It's a common cost. We will have to distribute. Tell me, if the joint cost is 10 lakh, is it only for petrol, only for diesel, only for kerosene? No, it is for all the three. If it is for all the three, then we'll have to apportion or distribute for all the three. Correct. Now, how do we apportion? That's what needs to be learned in problem section. Right. Let me go back to textbook. Yes. Then what is byproduct? What is byproduct? Byproducts are saleable or usable, important here, secondary products relatively of small value that are produced along with main product. These byproducts may or may not require further processing. Right. Now, byproducts, though, come out of a particular process, you have not specifically incurred any extra cost to produce byproducts, right? You don't spend any extra efforts. You don't hire one labor only to get that byproduct. Byproduct is also an output. Byproduct is also an output that you may or may not further process. Majority places they don't further process because that is not their core area, that is not their main product at all. And even if they do that, the income that they can realize from that will be very, very small, very, very less value. You will have the problems. That time you will get to know what do you mean by bigger product, smaller product. But understand from costing point of view, whether it is joint product or byproduct, we are going to treat them likewise. We are going to treat them together in same manner. Doesn't matter whether something is a joint product or byproduct. Cost has to be shared, revenue will be earned, maybe less, but there will be some revenue that is being earned. Accounting for joint products. When joint products are produced, they cannot be separated up to a certain stage of production. That point is called split off point or point of separation. This I have already told you. Now that we know joint cost, say example 10 lakh is for raw petrol, raw diesel and raw kerosene put together, we need to know how to segregate this 10 lakh between, or sorry, segregate is not the correct word, how to apportion this 10 lakh between raw petrol, raw kerosene and raw diesel. That is the heading here, apportionment of joint cost. Now to learn this apportionment concept, we will have to solve first some basic problems. Some problems, once we are done with, we will get some understanding about the subject concept, and then we can come back and learn these things. So I'm keeping pending from here and I'm going to first question. Yes. Practical problems. Question number 1. A byproduct K is derived in the course of manufacturing a product G. Now, product G and product K. I told you from costing point of view, from cost calculation, revenue calculation perspective, whether it's a joint product or a byproduct doesn't make a difference to us. But in reality, you should know two products which are of equal importance, for which effort is incurred equally, money is spent, resources are utilized equally, then they are called joint products. But in the course of making joint products, if byproducts emerge, then that byproduct may or may not have high commercial value. That may not be as important as main product. So when I say two joint products, then there are two joint products. But when I say two products, in that one is main product, another is byproduct, then understand one has more importance compared to the other. Right. The byproduct is further processed for sale. In this question, they are saying we further processed even the byproduct. From the following data available from cost records, prepare a statement showing cost per kg of product G. They want you to show the cost per kg of G. Okay. Material cost, labor cost, overhead cost. Look at this. Joint expenses. They did not say whether it is for G or K. We should know joint expense means it is for G and K both put together. Correct. Next, separate expenses. Obviously, it will be separately given for G and K. We know because name itself is separate expense. Yeah. You have material, labor, overhead everywhere. Okay. right? The quantities produced and sold, nothing is given, means produced and sold during the period under consideration were G 400 kg, K 100 kgs. Okay. Selling price of K was 240 rupee. Look at this. They are given selling price of K, on which a profit estimated earned is estimated to be 30% of the selling price. Here you have selling price of K, profit of K. But what is asked in the question, I'm highlighting here, the question is about cost of the product G, right? How to do it? Yes, listen to me. Let us visualize the approach. Let us, see through it. How do we present? Think. Question is cost per kg of G, but more details are given for K. Let us see working note 1. If I start with sale of K, do I have selling quantity of K? Yes, I have 100 kg. Okay. Do I have selling price of K? Yes, sir, I have 240 kg. So if I multiply, I'll get to know sale value of K. Okay. From that, if I deduct profit 30%, 30% is anyway on sales. Then from sales, I will deduct profit. I will get cost of product K. Okay. Cost of K means it should be total of separate cost and joint cost. Separate cost and joint cost related to K. Related to K. Separate cost is given here. I'm sorry. Separate cost is given here. Right. So from total cost, if you take out separate cost, then the balance should be share of joint cost. Share of K in the total joint cost. Right. Then what to do in second working note? Total joint cost I know 20 plus 14 plus 5, 39,000. Right. From that, whatever is attributable to K, if I deduct, then the balance should be attributable to G. Correct. That will give you share of G in joint expense. Correct. But that's not the end. What is the question? Question is cost per kg of G. They did not say only joint cost. They said cost. That means joint cost as well as separate cost. Now separate cost is available here. For joint cost, if you add separate cost, you will get total cost of G. Correct, sir. But in the question they said you need cost per kg. Correct. Divide number of kgs here 400. Right. You will have the answer. Do not worry. I just want you to develop this habit. When you read a question, you should be able to visualize, okay, this will be my working note 1, this will be my working note 2, this is how I'll present the answer. This ability to visualize even before writing, you should learn. If you learn that now, there is no possibility of you missing something, because you clearly know I will do this first, I will do this next, I will do it next. When I'm doing working note 1, I know how will I use it in working note 2. When I'm doing working note 2, I should know how I'm going to use it in working note 3. What our students do, they first start working note 1 and do something, and then sit and think, why did I do, what is the use of this, now what is working note 2? And when they're doing working note 2, then they realize that working note 1 was not needed only. Understanding? This happens because you don't visualize the answer. You have to in your mind decide, my first working note will be this, from this I'll do working note 2, from that I'll get this information, from that I'll present my main answer. Right. Let us now work out. I'll open my answer screen. Okay, I think the written answer is available, but you understand and write. Don't just blindly copy. I'll be explaining from the beginning. All of you start writing. My suggestion, don't be in a hurry to copy. Follow my explanation. I'll be highlighting in yellow. First, working note 1, calculation of cost related to K. Cost related to K. How to find out cost related to K? Look at this. You have sales 100 kg, 240 rupees. This will make it 24,000 rupees. right? From sales, if you deduct profit, profit is given in the question, read the last line, it says 30% on sale value, correct? 30% on 24,000 is 7,200, right? With this, you will get total cost of K, that is 16,800. You must observe an important word here. What is this? Total cost. Total cost of K, 16,800. Total cost should include some separate cost, some joint cost. Correct. First, let us segregate. Let us segregate. First, draw two arrow marks. Left hand side, separate expenses. Sir, why are you starting with separate expense? What happens first is joint activity. No, you should write joint cost. Correct. You're right. But I don't know how much of joint cost is related to K. But I know separate expenses related to K. Therefore, I'm starting with separate expenses of K. Go to the question. You have material 1,000, labor 4,000, overhead 1,200. Add all this, you will get 6,200. 6,200. Now, tell me, 16,800 is total cost of K. In that, 6,200 is separate cost. If 6,200 is separate cost, then the balancing figure, that is 10,600, should be what? Joint expense. Joint expense. Now, go to the question. See how much is total joint cost. Total joint cost. If you add material, labor and overhead, 20,000 plus 14,000 plus 5,000, you are getting 39,000. Correct? Sir, out of 39,000, 10,600 is all related to K. Correct? Which means from this, if you take out 10,600, whatever is the balance cost, that should be related to G. Perfect. That is my working note 2. Start writing working note 2, distribution of joint cost. Distribution of joint cost. You can even use the word apportionment of joint cost. Distribution of joint cost. Right. First, total joint cost 20,000 plus 14,000 plus 5,000. 20 plus 14 plus 5, 39,000. Okay. This should be shared between K and G, right? How much is related to K? 10,600. From where am I getting this number? Previous working note. Previous working note. Correct. Out of 39,000, if 10,600 is related to K, then the balance should be related to G. Right. This will give you 28,400. 28,400. Right. Now tell me, what is the meaning of this number 28,400? Share of G, correct, in joint cost, correct. But what is asked in the question? They asked you to calculate cost per kg of G. Now when they use the word cost, it is not only joint cost, it is total cost. Total cost means joint cost of G plus separate cost of G. Correct. Now the main answer, statement of calculation of cost per kg. Calculation of cost per kg. I have written here cost per kg of G. Right. Make two columns. Particulars, amount. Particulars and amount. Right. First, share of G in joint cost, share of G in joint cost, that will come to 28,400. Okay. Then you have to take the separate cost related to G, separate cost related to G, that is given in the table: material, labor, overhead. Material, labor, overhead, 12,000, 10,000 plus 3,000. That total comes to 25,000. 25,000. Right. Now you need to add these two. That will give you what? Total cost of G. Total cost of G, 53,400. Correct. 53,400. But question is not about total cost. Question is about cost per kg. That means this should be divided by total quantity of G. How much is total quantity of G? 400 kgs. Right, completely 400 kgs. Right. Now if you divide 53,400 by 400, you will get cost per kg as 133.5, and that is your final answer. That is your final answer. That's all. That's all. Listen to me. There is one more way to get this answer. Okay, let me work out here. Okay, I'll just expand this. Yeah. Or if you want to copy, you can also copy. Yes. Start writing. Total cost to the company. Total cost to the company is equal to, tell me, joint cost plus separate cost of K plus separate cost of G. Am I right? Total cost to the company is equal to joint cost, separate cost of K plus separate cost of G, right? How much is joint cost? That is 20,000 plus 14,000 plus 5,000. That was 39,000. Right. How much is separate cost of, sorry, I'll just change this. Sorry. This should be first G and then K. Don't get confused. Let's go as per the question. Then separate cost of G is 25,000. Right. Then separate cost of K is 6,200. Correct. Just add these: 39,000 plus 25,000 plus 6,200, 70,200. Right. This is one side. Next line you write: cost of K is equal to sale of K minus profit of K. By the way, I'm doing it in one more approach, so I'll have to write it again. Sale of K minus profit of K. How much is sale of K? You have done it already. 24,000 minus profit was 7,200. So this is 16,800. What is this? Cost of K. Now tell me, therefore, cost of G is equal to, how to do? Total cost of the company, total cost to the company minus cost of K. Sir, what are you doing here? Tell me, what am I doing? Total cost of the company, that is for K and G. In that, take out cost of K, then balance should be related to G. Correct? Total cost of the company, which is for K plus G. In that, if you take out cost of K, balance should be related to G. Yes. How much is total cost of the company, sir. Here I'm highlighting 70200, 70200 minus cost of K 16800. So if you do that, you will get 53,400. 53,400. One last line, cost per kg, cost per kg of G will be 53,400 rupees by 400 kgs. 133.5 rupees. That's all. Right? Yes. So whichever way, either you go by this approach of 133.5. Sorry, I'm sorry. Yes. 133.5, or you go by my second approach. I'll just draw a line till here. Whichever way you are comfortable. Finally, answer will be same. Here also 133.5. Here also I have 133.5. This question can come for 5 marks only, not more than that. Shall we continue? Let me go back to question book. Yes, question number 2. In the course of manufacture of the main product A, byproduct X and Y also emerge. The joint expenses of manufacture amounted to 119,550. What is this? Joint cost of how many items? 3 items. There is A, there is X, and there is Y. All the 3 products are processed further after separation. Now with the help of the diagram, you know after separation they have further processed all 3, A, X and Y, and they have sold as per the details given below. Right. Sales, cost incurred after separation. Understand the wordings. When they say cost incurred after separation, this should be separate cost. Obviously, once you separate, then you incur. Whatever you incur after separating should be separate cost, right? Profit percentage on sales. Obviously, 25% on sales number, 20% on this, 15% on this. Easy, right? Total selling expense. This adjustment is important. The wording used here is total, not for AXY. Total selling expenses, 10% of total cost of sales. If you still remember, in cost sheet class we discussed total cost is also called as cost of sales. Correct? What comes after total cost in the cost sheet? You add profit, you will get sales. In this question, you have sales with you already, you have profit with you, so sales minus profit, you will get total cost. Correct? On that 10% you apply, that is selling and distribution cost. That's what they're saying. This is to be apportioned to 3 products in the ratio 1:2:2. So basically, you will find out total cost. On that, you will apply 10%. That number will be distributed between A, X, Y in the ratio 1:2:2. Right. Prepare a statement showing apportionment of joint cost to the main product and to byproducts. Till this, I'll just highlight it in green. Till this is one question. Okay. There is one more question. If the byproduct, etc., I will discuss it little later. Let us first complete this. By the way, what is this question all about? I'm highlighting now. It says prepare a statement showing apportionment of joint cost to the main product and byproduct. They want you to apportion joint cost between A, X and Y. Listen to me. How to approach this? We will have to prepare a table. Table with what? Particulars A, X, Y and total column. First of all, Do you know sales? Yes, sir, given. From that, if you take out profit, do you know profit first of all? Yes, sir, that's also given. All right. So sales minus profit. You will get total cost. Correct. Total cost of A, X, and Y. If you add all of that, you'll get total cost of the company. Right. On that, you have to apply 10%. That's what they said after the table. That number should be distributed in the ratio 1 is to 2 is to 2. 1 is to 2 is to 2. Right. Now, from total cost, if you take out selling and distribution, then whatever is left out should be cost of production. Cost of production. From cost of production, you will have only two components. One, there will be some separate cost, and then there will be some joint cost. Right. If you observe my explanation, I am going exactly in the opposite direction. Why am I saying opposite direction? Look at this. I'm writing it here. You will get to know why I said opposite direction. Tell me what happens first. Joint cost. I'm writing here. Please follow. What happens first? Joint activity. So you incur joint cost. After that, you will incur separate cost. Correct. So joint cost plus separate cost. This will give you total cost of production. For this, you will add selling cost, selling and distribution cost. This will give you total cost. For that, you will add profit and then you will sell sales. Then you will sell. Right. You know what is happening in this particular problem? I am highlighting now. Understand? I will circle it in blue. They have given sales to us. From that, we will take out profit. We will get total cost. Correct. On that 10%, then I'll distribute it in 1 is to 2 is to 2 ratio. I will get selling and distribution cost. From total cost, if I take out selling and distribution cost, I will get the total cost of production. Anyway, there is no office administration overhead, so directly it should be cost of production. From that, I will take out separate cost. Finally, I will get joint cost. That's why I said exactly opposite direction. I quickly repeat because this is one important type of problem that they ask in exam. First, I incur joint cost, then I incur separate cost. With that, my production is over. On that, I add selling and distribution. That will give me total cost. For that, I will add profit. I will have the sales. In this question, they have given sales to me first. I have to come back in reverse order. Sales is given. I'll deduct the profit. I will get total cost. From that, I will deduct selling and distribution. I'll get cost of production. From that, I will first take out separate cost. Finally, I will get joint cost. Did you understand? That means my table will have particulars A, X, Y. Particulars A, X, Y, and total. I'll start with sales minus the profit, from their total cost, and so on. Last item in my table will be joint cost. Right. Let us start working out the sum. All of you write down the heading statement of joint cost apportionment. Statement of joint cost apportionment. Okay, make a table with particulars A, X, Y and total. Let us fill the numbers one by one. Particulars A, X, Y, total. How much is sales? 90,000, 60,000, 40,000. Total 1,90,000. Okay. From this, you'll have to deduct profit. Profit is given as a percentage on sales. For A, 25%. So this will be 20 to 500. 25% on 90,000. I'll deduct it and write this now only 67,500. 67,500. 500. Okay. What about X? 20%. That means 60,000 into 20%. That will be 12,000. 60,000 minus 12,000 will be 48,000. 48,000. Product Y, 15%. 15% of 40,000. If you deduct that, you will get 34,000. Now take all the profits, 22,500 plus 12,000 plus 6,000. I am getting 40500. 40500 from 1,90,000. If you deduct 149, 149,500. Right. What next? From total cost, I'll have to come in reverse order. I told you I should deduct selling and distribution. In bracket, you write 10% of 149,500. That will be 14950 here, directly here. This should be distributed between AXY. In what ratio? They said 1:2:2. So 149,500, 14950. This will be 2990, 5980, 5980. Yes. Now from total cost, if you deduct selling and distribution cost, you should get cost of production. Do it. 67,500 minus 2990, 64,510, 48,000 minus 5980 will be 42020. Last one, 34,000 minus 5980, 28020. 28020. This is 134,550. Right. We have come till cost of production. Cost of production. From this, we should deduct separate cost. Right. How much is separate cost given in the question? See the table, second item, cost incurred after separation. Anything incurred after separation should be separate cost. Yes, this is 6,000. This is 5,000, 4,000. Add all of this, should be 15,000. 15,000. Now from cost of production, if you take out separate cost, you will get joint cost. This should be 58,510. This should be 37020. This should be 24020. Final number 119,550. 119,550. All right. Now, if you have completed the answer and if you have got 119,550, you must be thinking, sir, this number was already given in the question. Where? Read, sir, first paragraph only. Read the second line. Joint expense of the manufacturer amounted to 119,550. This number was already there in the question. What did you calculate by doing all this table? Please understand, the purpose of doing the table is not to get this number, but to get these numbers. 119,550 was known. And what was our task? What was the question? Question is, prepare a statement in such a way that this 119,550 gets distributed between A, X and Y. So the purpose of table is not the total. The purpose of table is to do these three numbers. Sir, then why did you prepare the total column? Unnecessary? No, it's not unnecessary. If you don't prepare total column, you will not get this number. This 14950 was 10% of the total. Now, if you don't prepare this total only, how will you get this number? Without getting this number, you can't do 10% of total and then how will you apportion? All this is not possible, right? Yes. So the purpose of total is to find out selling and distribution cost, and also to check our final answer. Please remember, in examination, if this number is not 119550, if you get something else, then your answer is correct. Fully wrong. Correct is what you guessed is correct. Answer is not correct. Answer is fully wrong, because 119550 is already there in the question. How can you change the total joint cost? Right. Let us go back. In the question, there was one more line. Okay. Now what we have answered was this, whatever is highlighted in yellow. This is being answered. Prepare a statement showing apportionment of joint cost to main product and to byproducts. This is done. Now there is one more line. Yes, they're saying if the byproduct X is not subject to further processing. First paragraph they said we are further processing all the three. Now they're coming back with an explanation. If we decide not to further process X and sell it at the point of separation for which there is a market and we can earn 58,500 rupees sales, for that you don't even need selling expenditure, would you advise its disposal at that stage? Now you know what is the question. Listen to me. At what price are we selling X as of now? 60,000 rupee. But that is after further processing. Correct. Here now they came with an option that please don't further process this X. I will give you one option. What option? Sell it at the split off only. At what price? 58,500. Now you should decide whether it should be sold at the split off point for 58,500 or you should further process and then sell it at 60,000 rupees. Right. How to decide here? Listen to me. To answer this question, you should understand incremental approach. Please listen. Incremental approach. What is incremental approach? Don't copy. Do not copy. Just listen. Yes. If I sell without further processing, I will incur 58,500. Sorry, I will earn sale earning, correct. I will earn 58,500. But if I further process and sell as per the question, I will be getting 60,000 rupee. That means if I further process, I will get 1,500 rupee more. Sir, fantastic. No, it's not so fantastic. Why? If you decide to further process, then you will have to incur further processing cost. Further processing is not free. There is some further processing cost. How much is further processing cost? See in the table they've given for product X, further processing cost is 5,000 rupees. Further processing cost is 5,000 rupees. Now look at this. Listen, don't interpret 3,500. Listen to me first. If you sell without further processing, this is what you will earn. If you further process and then sell, this is what you will be earning. That means you will earn 1,500 extra if you further process. Correct. But when I say if you further process, that further processing comes with a cost. How much is the cost? 5,000 rupee. Now compare these two numbers. They want you to spend 5,000 rupee extra and do further processing so that you can increase your sales income by 1,500. That means 5,000 extra you will pay, 1,500 extra you will earn. Net benefit or loss to you is negative 3,500, which means further processing is a bad decision. If further processing is a bad decision, then what is a good decision? Sell it without further processing. All right. Now, some of you will get confused with this selling expense. Sir, you're only considering further processing cost. What about selling cost? Please understand. How did we get that selling expense for X? Are we spending selling expense separately for A, X, and Y? No. As per the question, it is 10% of the total cost, correct? And that gets apportioned. That means it is more like rent, more like a fixed cost that is getting apportioned between A, X, and Y. Tomorrow, if you stop continuing production of X, the total will not come down. That is 14950. 14950, that will get distributed between A and Y. That's all. X will not get. A and Y will get more. Sir, is it like marginal costing? You said fixed cost is irrelevant for decision making. Correct. Fixed cost is irrelevant for decision making. This 14500, whatever number we had, 14950, I think. Yeah, 14950, because it is distributed in a particular ratio, that's an indication that it is not incurred for A, X, Y separately. Correct? Suppose instead of taking total and then distributing, if in the question, if they had given that we are spending 3000 selling cost for A, 2000 for X, 1000 for Y, then I would definitely consider that selling and distribution expense also. But here they said whatever is the total you get, just distribute it between A, X, and Y. So it more looks like a rent, more like a common expenditure that will just get distributed between A, X, and Y. Tomorrow, if you stop X, what will happen? See, stopping X means you will only stop further processing X. You have already done the joint activity. Suppose if you decide to sell X at the split off point only, then also the cost will get transferred between A and Y. As a company as a whole, I will still be incurring the cost. That is why, to avoid that confusion, they clearly gave in the question that I'm reading, X is not subject to further process and sold at point of separation, for which there is a market of 58,500 without selling expense. They said don't worry about selling expense, take a decision. Right. Now, what is 1500? This is extra revenue. I can write in general words as extra income. What is 5000? This is my extra cost. Right. Now, in cost accounting terms or in economics terminology, they call it as incremental income versus incremental cost. I will quickly take another small example to make this concept easier. Suppose this is my house. Okay, I stay here. Sorry, I stay here. Okay, this is my office where I am working right now. There is another office far away from this. Okay. Now, every day I am going here, working and coming back. I am earning 10,000 rupee monthly salary. My traveling cost is 1,000 rupee. Net, I have 9,000 rupee. Right. This company gave a job offer and said, we will pay you 10,500 rupee. Please join us. Will you just compare this 10,000 and 10,500 and say 500 rupee gain, let me join? No, you'll compute one more number. What is that one more number? To go to this office, how much is my traveling cost? Suppose if that traveling cost is going to be 3,000 rupee, then look at this. You will earn 500 more. That's why I'm writing as plus 500, but you will spend 2,000 more. That will be minus 2,000. Now, can I call 500 as incremental salary? Correct. Can I call 2,000 as, can I call 2000 as incremental cost? The difference is incremental gain or loss. In my example, there is a loss of 1500. That means you should not accept the second company's job. Reject this. Right. Apply this concept to my problem. If you sell at split off point, you will get, I'll just write it here. If you sell at split off point, you will get 58,500. Suppose this is further processing, you will get 60,000. Fantastic, 1,500 more. But to do that, you have to incur 5,000 rupee further processing cost. That means net benefit or loss is negative 3,500. Further processing is a bad decision. That's all. Okay. All of you start writing. Start writing. I will dictate. You start writing. Decision regarding, please write, decision regarding product X. Decision regarding product X. Particulars amount. Particulars amount. Start first. Sales without further processing. Sales without further processing, 58,500. 58,500. Next line. Sales after further processing. Sales after further processing. What's the number? 60,000. Next line. Incremental revenue or incremental sales, anything. Incremental revenue or incremental sales is equal to 1,500. 1,500. Next line. Incremental cost is equal to in further processing cost. Incremental cost is equal to further processing cost. What's the number? 5,000. Yes. Last line. Net benefit or loss. Net benefit or loss. What's the number? Negative 3,500. Negative 3,500. Conclusion. As there is a net loss, it is preferred to sell without further processing. That's all. Question number 3. Two joint products A and B are produced and sold by a company. Joint costs are material 5,000, labor 3,000, overhead 2,000. Okay. Separate expenses are also given to you. Product A, material, labor, overhead. Product B, material, labor, overhead. Everything is given. Next. Selling price of A, 16,000, B, 8,000. Profit margin on sales is also given to you. Right. Then Selling and distribution expenses are apportioned in the ratio of selling price. Okay. Prepare a statement showing apportionment of joint cost. Sir, everything looks okay. But where is the selling and distribution cost, sir? I know that's the doubt. Read the whole question again. I will wait for 30 seconds. Read the whole question again and tell me how to find out selling and distribution cost. I will wait. You read, do any calculation that you want to, give a try, and then keep the answer ready. I know you cannot give me the answer. Keep the answer ready. You can pause the video and decide the number. Keep it ready. Okay. Now this is the way to be worked out. I hope you have done some calculation. If not, pause it now. Do it. I'll be answering it in a while now. Okay. This is how to do it. Material 5,000, labor 3,000, overhead 2,000. All these are joint costs. So how much is total joint cost? Total joint cost 5 plus 3 plus 2, 10,000. Okay. Separate cost for A, material 3,000, labor 1,400, overhead 600. This total, this is separate cost of A separate cost. This is 5,000, right? Then B also has a separate cost, 1,500, 1,500. That will be 3,000. This is B's separate cost. This is 18,000. This is total cost of joint activity, separate activity A, separate activity B. Keep this number one side. Now do reverse calculation. How much is cost of A? Sales is 16,000 minus profit is 25%. That means this is 12,000. One number ready. Same way for B also, I am doing it in calculator. Sales is 8,000 minus 20% profit, that is 6,400. Now if you add cost of A and cost of B, 12,000 plus 6,400, you will get 18,400. That means total cost is 18,400. Total of the joint cost and separate cost is 18,000. The missing figure 400 should be taken as selling and distribution cost. If you don't get this number, you cannot continue the problem at all. You are stuck here only if you don't get this selling and distribution. Those who could not understand, I am repeating once. I first calculated total joint plus separate cost. How I did? Total joint cost is material 5,000, labor 3,000, overhead 2,000, 10,000. One side. Add separate cost of A, 3,000, 1,400, 600, that is 5,000. B, 1,500, 1,500, that is 3,000. 10 plus 5 plus 3, total 18,000. Keep it to one side. Then do reverse working. Cost of A you can find out. How? Sale of A is given, profit of A is given, 16,000 minus 25%, I got 12,000 cost of A. Same way cost of B, 8,000 minus 20%, that is 6,400. Now when I add 12,000 plus 6,400, total cost of A and B is coming to 18,400. But joint cost plus separate cost was only 18,000. The difference 400 should be selling and distribution cost. But this is for the whole company 400 rupee. This should be distributed between A and B in what ratio? Read this line says selling and distribution cost are to be apportioned, on the basis of selling price. Where is selling price? 16,000, 8,000. That means the ratio to distribute 400 will be 16:8 or 2:1. Got it? Let us write the answers. I think you have the answer even for this available. Yes, you have the answer. I'll be explaining one by one. Okay, follow my explanation. You please write whatever I am highlighting. First, total cost to the company. How to calculate cost of A, that is sales 16,000 minus profit 25% came to 12,000. Same thing, repeat this for B. Sales 8,000 minus 20% profit, that will be 6,400. If you add 18,400, keep this number one side. Right. Next, working note 2. Right, this is working note 2. Yes. Joint cost is equal to material labor overhead 5 plus 3 plus 2, 10,000. Next, separate cost of A, again material labor overhead, all given in the question. 3,000, 1,400, 600, total 5,000. For B, same way, 1,500, 1,500, total comes to 3,000. If you add these numbers, 18,000. Now compare these two. Total cost for A and B is 18,400, but cost related to production, that is joint cost plus separate of A, separate of B, is coming to 18,400. Therefore, you write here 18,400 minus 18,000 is equal to balancing figure, selling and distribution cost. Sir, should we write a note that the balancing figure is assumed as selling and distribution? Not necessary. They gave in the question that there is some selling and distribution cost. You distribute in a ratio, correct? That means whatever is the missing figure has to be selling and distribution. Yes, 400. 400. You need to distribute between A and B. In what ratio? They said selling price ratio 16:8. That will be 267, 133. 133. Right. Before I write anything next, you see what was asked in the question. Read the last line. Prepare a statement showing apportionment of joint cost. That means now we'll have to prepare a table similar to what we did in previous answer. Right, all of you start writing. Heading apportionment of joint cost. Apportionment of joint cost. You have the entire table. Those who want to try on your own, do it. You have the answer. As much as possible, try avoiding copying from screen. Okay, let us start. Particulars A, B and total. A, B and total. We will start from sales given in the question 16,800, total 24,000. we will deduct profit. By the way, profit percentages were given 25%, 20%, 25% and 20%. This is 4,000, 1,600, total 5,600. Now what I have with me? Total cost, yes, 12,000, 6,400, 18,400. From this, I'm going to deduct selling and distribution cost first. That will be, I am writing 400 and then in the ratio 267, 133. Sorry, ratio was 16:8. Amount is 267 and 133. Okay. Now if you deduct this, you will get cost of production. Cost of production 11733 6267. Add 18,000. Tell me, from total cost of production, if you take out separate cost, balancing figure should be joint cost. Simple. In this question, the only tricky thing is to find out selling and distribution cost. If you get that number, rest everything is just straight simple table. Yes. Separate expense given in the question 5,000, 3,000, that is 8,000. Therefore, 6733, 3267, total 10,000. Sir, can we check this 10,000 number from the question? Definitely yes. Read the question, first line only. Joint cost material 5,000, labor 3,000, overhead 2,000. That 5 plus 3 plus 2, that itself is 10,000. That's the number you have here. That's all. That's all.